to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to Dr. Bob. And we're going to be reacting to How to Survive the Yule Man. And it's going to be a pretty fun video. So lock in, hit that subscribe button. And I'm doing a challenge where I have to upload 2 videos today. This is probably going to be the first video today. And I'll upload one more, and then I'll upload 2 videos tomorrow, 2 videos the next day. Maybe 2 videos the next day. It's because I hit 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're reacting to this. So let's get into this. Lock in, chat.
There are bloody footprints on the snow outside the house, but those are nothing compared to the carnage that unfolded inside. Blood in every one of the 3 beds, pooling against the mattresses. An almost empty dog kennel, full of mangled fur, and every sharp object in the house. Knives, scissors, saws, screwdrivers, all laid out on the kitchen table, stained from the night's work. In the living room, where until recently there had been so much screaming, next to the Christmas tree sits 3 large gift-wrapped boxes. They're each labeled Daddy, Mommy, and Billy. None of the boxes seem big enough to contain a whole human, but it's remarkable how well a person will fold when you know the right tendons and ligaments to cut. And he knows. After all,
what do you mean
he's
he
had
knows?
a long time to practice and a lot of people to practice on. But Daddy, Mommy, and Billy are the lucky ones. Little Tyler is still alive, but he's somewhere else now. And the fate that awaits him is far, far worse. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Joyful Kwanzaa, and Freaky Festivus. Watch closely and remember everything I'm telling you, especially if you happen to live in the Northern Hemisphere, because between the nights of December 20...
I live in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm cooked! Dude, the Yule Man is going to come to me today. Is that the Yule Man? I just heard the Yule Man. What the fuck?
Whether you even celebrate at all, there's something else looking to indulge in its own brand of sadistic holiday fun. SCP-4666, also known as the Yule Man. What separates the Yule Man from a number of other murderous anomalies that the Foundation is unable to contain is that the Yule Man is exceptionally violent and cruel. If you find yourself in the middle of one of his infamous Weihnacht events, he won't just kill you, he'll subject you to truly unimaginable torment after doing the same to your entire immediate family. There is no such thing as a quick and painless death when you fall into his gnarled clutches, but there is one advantage, one reason not to give up hope under the threat of the Yule Man. While he may be a supernatural serial killer who has operated across the top side of the globe for potentially thousands of years, he's still a serial killer. And like many serial killers, his murderous activities are subject to a number of time-worn patterns, rituals, and routines. If you can familiarize yourself with these data points, learn to recognize them, and act before it's too late, you may stand a fighting chance of making it through the Weihnacht. So let's explore one of my case files on the matter and see what we can learn. We'll return to the Yule Man in just a moment. But first, I have a question directly for you. Is something interfering with your happiness?
We're gonna skip this part.
Like depression, therapy can give you tools to approach your life in a very different way. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more really hard. Therapist easier due to a professional therapist. There's a link in help support this channel, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, so you can connect with you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a common thing with therapy. You can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing about insurance. Think back. You're 10 years old, and it begins on an unusually cold December. The snowfall is heavier than expected, even for your part of the world at this time of year. Usually, something like this would fill you with wonder. But for some reason, as you look out of your window at the crisp, white carpet coating your backyard, you feel a strange sense of icy dread creeping over you. Part of you wants to dismiss it. It's Christmas, after all, the most wonderful time of the year. But if you want to be sure you'll see another Christmas, you heed those feelings of dread. You see, when you experience that kind of shapeless unease, It's sometimes because your instinctual mind, the primitive part of your limbic system designed to detect predators, has noticed something that your modern conscious mind has not. Something that means to do you terrible harm. Little signs like this are what you'll need to be on the lookout for over the first 7 days of these nightmarish 12 days of Christmas, because many who don't wind up meeting an awful fate. Soon enough, it won't just be a feeling. You'll start to see him. At first, it'll be from a distance,
I'm gonna try not
and you
to
might
pause
even
this
brush it
much,
off as your overactive imagination.
there's
Maybe
no
you
point.
wake up on the second day, wipe the sleep from your eyes, and wander over to the window to see if it's still snowing. It is, of course, but it isn't the snow that's catching your eye. It's something in the distance, little more than a speck.
I just said I wouldn't pause it, but like, bro, what is that? I'm so for real, Dr. Bob. What is that? Nah, dude, what is that? Like, what even is that?
Tree line, but somehow you still notice it. Is that a person? How could it be?
Nah, that's
It'd
not
have
a
to
person.
be 7 or 8 feet tall to still be visible from this distance. Somehow you just know it's watching you, that you've been selected for something ancient and terrible. But you make the unwise choice not to tell anyone. You're worried about what your parents will say. What if they think you're lying? Then you won't get any presents from Santa Claus this year.
Sure
This
won't.
very instinct is why the Yule Man appears to children first. He likes to toy with his victims.
I'm the real you.
Might be able to save all of your lives at this stage.
Those who have good parents, shout out to y'all.
Around this time of year, SCP Foundation web crawlers and Internet information specialists will be scouring social media for any signs of an impending Weihnacht event. As little as it seems, even a Facebook or Twitter post from your mom or dad about the strange, unusually tall peeper watching you from the forest might be enough to trigger the Foundation into sending some field agents to your home. Once there, they'll probably make up some excuse about a dangerous chemical leak in your area, or a belief that you're being targeted by some known fugitive or dangerous gang. You'll be escorted away to a secure safe house where you'll be guarded by a mobile task force for the remainder of the 12 days. But really, what are the odds that your parents will believe you at this stage? Unlike the Yule Man himself,
what happens if they
you're not
don't?
out of the woods yet. Over the next few days, you'll notice that you see him again, and each time he gets a little closer.
What?
Of course, you'll make excuses. He's still
Why?
too distant to really make out as he stands in the field between the woods and your home. Maybe he's a stranger just going for a walk or stargazing. He's just standing awfully still is all. Sometimes you'll see him for a split second, and as soon as you look back, he's gone. Perhaps testing the waters, you'll start trying to bring it up with your parents. You tell them you've been seeing a strange man on the grounds outside your home. They seem a little concerned at first, but they brush it off and put on a brave face. They tell you everything will be fine. It's probably nothing. Why would anything bad happen to a lovely little family like yours? Maybe you'll feel okay for a little while after that. Your parents always know exactly how to comfort you. They've got no idea that, in this case, that comfort is putting you all in greater danger. But as the days progress, the presence of your singularly unpleasant guest will become both harder to ignore and harder to do anything about. On the morning of the 6th day, you'll wake up screaming.
Why?
Up until now, you will
screaming.
only have seen the mysterious
up.
figure from a distance, a long, dark shadow against the snow.
Shut the fuck.
But now, his terrible face is pressing up against your bedroom window.
Okay, I take it back.
He's
I know
only
why
there
I'm
for a
screaming
moment
now.
before your screams send him packing. But even that moment is enough to scar him into your mind for a lifetime.
Yeah,
He looks weathered and impossible,
bro, imagine seeing that on your freaking window. Oh, hell.
pack full of broken glass, face framed by a scraggly gray beard. Somehow you get the sense that you're staring into the face of pure and absolute evil. Your parents run in, worried that maybe you've had an accident of some kind. But when you tell them it's the strange man again, this time with his face up against the window, their expression takes on a different kind of concern. Two things may happen at this point. If you're lucky and your parents take your concerns seriously, your lives may be saved. If they go to the police and report an incident of stalking, there's a possibility that a Foundation field agent embedded in some level of the chain of command will flag this as a precursor to a Weissnacht event. In comes the Foundation to the rescue once again. But if your parents don't believe you, or perhaps even scold you for telling lies, then you're just kicking that can a little further down the road. Though, of course, after the 8th night, when the Weissnacht event enters its second phase, you won't be the only one noticing strange things around the house anymore.
That's exactly
On day 8, your mother starts noticing something while your father is out at work. She swears she can hear footsteps in the attic,
That's exactly
just
why you
pacing
listen,
back
people.
and forth, like it's waiting for something it's extremely excited for. Your mother goes up to check, but there's nothing in the attic. Maybe it's rats or birds in the wall. Not ideal, but manageable. However, when she hears it again the next day, she's certain that it can't be anything but human footsteps up there.
Nope.
She's starting to share your fears, but for some insane reason, she doesn't see what you've been seeing and what she's been hearing are connected. If she did, she might have been able to save you all. Instead, she tells your dad about the strange footsteps. He feels a little worried, but he doesn't want to go to the police about it. He decides he'd rather buy your family an early Christmas present, a Smith & Wesson revolver. If anyone is messing with his...
Nah, you know what? You want to play with me? Play with me, boy. Come on, buddy. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. Come on. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Come on. Get him!
himself like a real man, as though any one man could ever save you all from what's coming. As the days go on, the eerie little sights continue to progress. There are bumps in the night, like someone is in the house downstairs. Your father palms his new revolver and sneaks downstairs, ready to head off the intruder at the pass. But again, there's nobody down there. It's almost like you're being haunted. This feels even more true when the smells start. It's a pungent, rotting odor that lingers around different parts of the house, like something died in the walls. Your parents think about hiring some kind of professional, but the smell often seems to disappear as soon as it arrives. All strange little things. And if you or your parents had been able to put all the pieces together, you'd know something was very wrong. But holiday stress gets to a lot of people. It's easy for certain things to slip through the net. Normally, this might result in a few missed meetings or forgotten errands. Here, it could result in all of your horrible deaths. On the 12th night, when an ill wind blows and the snow is heavy and thick, he will descend upon your home in the cover of darkness with horror and madness on his mind. You and your family ignored all the signs, and this is your reward. This is the Weissnacht. There are two ways this can go for you, the lucky way or the unlucky way. And once you've heard how horrible the lucky way is, the unlucky way will truly churn your stomach.
What?
If you're lucky, none of your...
How was the lucky way horrible? What the...
Instead, you'll wake up with presents at the foot of your bed. How lovely. Except these presents were given to you by the Yule Man, not Santa Claus. And as such, they aren't made by a workshop of happy little elves. They're made by and of the Yule Man's former victims. Yes, you'll be scarred for life, but at least you'll have a life to live, even if you'll need to spend a fortune on therapy. But let's assume that you won't be that lucky.
Okay.
The Yule Man has taken thousands of lives over the years, and he's gotten extremely good at infiltrating homes without being detected. He'll pass through your halls like a shadow, not being heard or seen unless he wants you to. If he decides that he wants this to be a more leisurely evening of slaughter, then I'm afraid there's nothing you're going to be able to do about what comes next. Using either his own collection of rusty old tools or common household objects,
I'd rather have common old household tools than his rusty old tools, because I'd be getting tetanus and be getting sawed in half.
He'll silently incapacitate each member of your family in their beds, rendering you totally defenseless. He'll then drag each member of your family into a single room, usually the living room, and begin his twisted work. Some of the recorded case studies will give you an idea of what to look forward to in this scenario. In the 1400s, the Yule Man attacked a family in Croatia. When the town's authorities, including an archbishop, viewed the scene, they commented that the family was made to suffer greatly before they died, and that paganistic symbols were written on the walls in blood. Centuries later, he was recorded attacking a family in pre-colonial Canada. Only one young girl was able to escape and run to a nearby village, where she told the authorities that a naked man had broken into her house and killed her family. The rest of her family were found at the family home, hung upside down, completely devoid of blood, and showing clear evidence of torture. And in the 60s, a family in the Soviet Union was found in the aftermath of a Weihnacht event. They had been restrained, burnt, beaten, and even bitten hundreds of times. Analysis of the bite marks showed that the Yule Man's teeth didn't match any known animal or human. These are all the things you can look forward to if the Yule Man decides he wants to incapacitate you and take his time. No survival advice would better your chances here. There's no bargaining, begging, or pleading. The Yule Man is beyond reason. But if the Yule Man decides he wants a chase tonight, it's a very different story. He'll enter through the front door, brazen and proud of what he's about to do. He knows you won't call for help. He's already disabled any landline phones or alarm systems connected to the home so he can have privacy for his favorite night of the year. Perhaps your father will hear him first, just like all the phantom footsteps in the days before. He's got his Smith & Wesson gripped tightly, but nothing will prepare him for what he finds standing in the hallway, waiting for him. The Yule Man is a nightmare made flesh, too tall, too gnarled, too ancient and unclothed.
You're gonna die.
He grins his broken glass grin and produces a long, curved, rusty blade. He lifts it up as if to say, "See, I'm going to use this on everyone you love."
Oh, well, see, I'm gonna use this.
Of course, your father won't stand for that.
On everyone you love.
He levels the Smith & Wesson. Harry Yule Man, somebody would have done it already. The Yule Man smiles again and starts walking towards your father. This is when the screaming starts. You sit bolt upright in bed and see that your mother is already in your room, eyes glazed with frightened tears. At this point, your father is a lost cause. But there's still some hope for you and your mother to escape if you make the right decisions. But what are the right decisions right now? Knowing her husband is probably dead, but wanting to do everything she can to protect her child, she begins barricading your door from the inside.
That's not gonna work.
If nothing else, that will buy her some time to think of a plan. As she hears the footsteps of the Yule Man slowly trudging upstairs, her eyes turn to the window. While you bombard her with panicked questions, she starts grabbing your bedsheets and twisting them into a makeshift rope. Hopefully, it'll hold. As the Yule Man starts knocking on the door with mocking delicacy, she throws open the window and flings the bedsheet rope out. She dries your tears and tells you to climb down the rope, to run across the snow to the nearest town, and not stop until you get there. You ask her if she's coming too, but as the Yule Man pounds against the door with his twisted fists, you already
I'm so fast, dude. I would outrun that Yule Man.
You know the answer. She kisses you and tells you she loves you as you start to rappel down the rope out of the window. The cold night air nearly takes your breath away, but not nearly as much as hearing.
Dude, screw that! I would literally just. I don't care how cold it is, but I'd be like, frick this cold, dude. I wouldn't stop.
The wood of your door splinter and your mother scream as the Yule Man descends on her with all of his terrible fury. You can't afford to think about what's happening to her. All you can do is run across the snowy field away from your house, feeling the intense cold sting the soles of your feet. If you don't freeze to death during the run, you fear that the Yule Man will leave the house and give chase, making all of your parents' sacrifices worth nothing. But as much as you try to run, the Yule Man can run a lot faster. You turn and see the long, spindly legs of the Yule Man bounding after you. As you try to scream, the icy fingers of your pursuer close around the top of your head and yank you sharply off the ground. Your crying and pleading are muffled by heavy burlap as you're shoved into an old sack and shrouded in darkness. You can try struggling, but I can't say with any confidence that it will better your situation. You may have survived the night, but worse horrors await. The Yule Man is taking you to his workshop. When you next wake up, you'll be inside a cave with many others like you kidnapped from all over the Northern Hemisphere. You'll spend your days and nights making toys out of human remains, and how long you'll be able to eke out your survival will depend on how good you are at this task. Sadly, we don't have any records of people getting out of the workshop and going on to live a long and fulfilling life.
Dang.
If the Yule Man gets hungry, he might just eat you on a whim.
Ew.
And as for if you decide that the toy-making life isn't for you, well, those who can't make the toys become the toys. So just out of morbid curiosity, what will happen if you and your family don't survive the Weissnacht event? What if your parents are slaughtered and you're either eaten or transformed into a twisted toy? The Foundation has its own protocols for this too. They'll clean up the crime scene, perform autopsies, collect evidence, and contain any toys made out of human remains. They'll plant a fake story in the press about a family tragically killed in a regular, non-anomalous home invasion. They'll then take the data they gained from this incident and incorporate it into their predictive models for Weissnacht incidents, hoping that maybe your deaths will give them a better chance of stopping the next ones.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter how many times we try to stop it.
They just don't care. My deaths are gonna help some other people, not me.
The Yule Man will never die. He'll always come back.
Oh, he will die.
Just as hungry for blood and pain as ever. All you can ever do is look out for the signs and hope that this year it isn't your turn to be on his very naughty list. Happy holidays, folks. Check out the Dr. Bob Patreon.
Oh, okay, that's all. That's the end of the video. So, now we can watch one more video if we want. So I'm gonna watch one more video, and then we're gonna end the video so yeah, let's go. We're gonna watch, I wanna watch one that I've not seen in a long time. I've not seen one in a long time, and I wanna watch it, so I watch this guy a lot, because he's entertaining. But let me just find the video first. It was a really good one. I liked it. And I want to find it. Here it is. It's the most deadliest SCP. I like this one. 22 minutes long. This is going to be a long
considerable
video.
Threat. There is widespread concern that if freed from containment, the anomaly will be able to seamlessly disguise itself in order to avoid detection.
Shoot! I've already watched a little bit of it. Okay. But it's been a minute.
Containment. In this scenario, nothing will be able to prevent SCP-5776 from carrying out its...
Alright, let me just move that back.
In the annals of the SCP Foundation's history, there have been plenty of anomalies that have kept personnel awake at night. Entities that prey on humans, either devouring them as a source of food or toying with innocent people for their own twisted amusement. Beings that can rewrite reality, erase entire lives from existence on a whim, and even creatures who delight in sowing chaos. Yet of all the anomalies known to the Foundation, there is perhaps one that is more terrifying than any other.
What?
It has been designated SCP-5776, and it is 100%, undeniably, without a shadow of a doubt, most definitely a Keter-class entity.
Oh, dang.
And despite what you may have been told, SCP-5776 is not a common food product.
What the? Bro, that's the most deadliest SCP? A white cube? What?
According to its entry on the SCP Foundation's database, SCP-5776 is a highly dangerous entity of near immeasurable power. Researchers have concluded that this anomaly possesses enough raw power to cause devastating destruction to human civilization, and its primary goal is to do just that. This entity exists to destroy everything that it can, seemingly simply because it can, and should it breach containment, little will be able to stop it from achieving this goal. The SCP Foundation considers the continued containment of SCP-5...
So if it breaches containment, then the whole
776
will end. Well, that's bad.
To be of the utmost importance for the continued survival of the human race. SCP-5776 has been observed to possess the capability to drastically alter its physical form, changing all aspects of its shape and mass at will. Closer spectral analysis carried out by Foundation experts in the field of anomalous metamorphosis has revealed that the entity is even capable of changing its own cellular genetic makeup. This metamorphic ability is largely why SCP-5776 is considered to be such a considerable threat. There is widespread concern that if freed from containment, the anomaly will be able to seamlessly disguise itself in order to avoid detection and recontainment. In this scenario, nothing will be able to prevent SCP-5776 from carrying out its primary objective, swiftly and with brutal efficiency. Researchers and Foundation emergency response strategists have conferred and agree that once freed, SCP-5776 will be able to enact the total extinction of the entire human race within a matter of days, potentially even within a few hours. While still currently contained, the anomalous shapeshifter has expressed an intense eagerness to escape Foundation custody. It also appears to hold the Foundation in the highest contempt, frustrated at the organization responsible for confining it, and vowing to destroy them first, should it ever have the opportunity. Currently, SCP-5776 remains housed in a large containment cell, situated somewhere within Site-19. Given the significant danger posed by this entity, the exact location of its containment cell is classified. A reality anchoring device has been used to aid in containment and must remain attached to SCP-5776 at all times. Despite the effects of this device, SCP-5776 has...
Oh yeah, guys, tonight I'm gonna do... Don't know what I'm gonna do at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. guys, tonight I'm gonna do a vlog. Log in.
Shown itself to still be capable of carrying out its shape-shifting abilities, albeit only in a limited capacity. It cannot change itself into a form that would allow for it to quickly break free from containment. This is something that the entity expresses a near-constant frustration at, finding the limitations on its anomalous abilities to be as much of an annoyance as it finds being contained to be. Whilst in containment, the anomaly has assumed a number of different forms, ranging from humanoid shapes that mimic members of Foundation personnel, including researchers, doctors, and even a member of the O5 Council. It has additionally assumed the form of several other SCP items, entities, and creatures. The exact anomalies it has impersonated are redacted in SCP-5776's file. However, notably, whenever the entity alters its appearance, it gains the abilities of whatever form it assumes. This has been particularly noticeable whenever SCP-5776 has mimicked other anomalies, gaining the properties of an object or creature through the means of anomalous impersonation. The Foundation considers this an additional reason that SCP-5776 is a significant threat. Although its ability to recreate the anomalous properties of other SCPs is dampened thanks to the reality anchoring device used to keep the creature contained, it has been unanimously agreed by multiple departments that SCP-5776 cannot learn of other anomalous entities within Foundation containment or those in the custody of other groups of interest. Efforts have been made to limit the information the creature has access to.
Wait, so you're telling me that if it finds about, like, one of the most deadliest SCPs, then it can take form of that and become that and start destroying everything, and it can become any other SCP. Oh, that is terrible. That's
in order to
bad.
Limit which SCPs it is aware of, in the hopes of restricting the potentially endless selection of alternate forms SCP-5776 can assume. Beyond recreating the appearance and abilities of other anomalies, SCP-5776 has also been known to take several forms considered unique to itself. However, it remains unknown to the Foundation which of these is its natural shape. There is debate among researchers over which form is SCP-5776's actual shape, though it has been known to materialize as an unknown large beast, an unidentified winged scorpion, and a giant amorphous entity. The entity's current form is a small, white cylinder, though it has been noted by researchers that the creature in no way resembles a small edible confectionery product, and it remains a frightening, imposing threat to the Foundation. Case in point, there exists a recovery log detailing the Foundation's initial encounter with SCP-5776, how it was discovered, and ultimately contained. However, under direct orders from an O5 Council member, this document has been removed in its entirety from SCP-5776's file. The reason? Its contents are deemed too disturbing, even for Foundation personnel. SCP-5776 is capable of communicating with researchers, and though this is normally dependent on the form it takes, the Foundation has mandated personnel to conduct interviews with the entity. The hope from Foundation higher-ups is that researchers will be able to reason with SCP-5776 over the course of continued conversations with it. These attempts have been met with varying results, the first interview being conducted by researcher Ox. Upon entry into the containment chamber to converse with the entity, researcher Ox was met with silence, attempting to nervously greet SCP-5776. The creature did not respond verbally, but changed its appearance to resemble SCP-Redacted, which the researcher remarked as being highly frightening. Before they could finish their sentence, SCP-5776 imploded into a ball of fire, triggering an emergency site-wide lockdown. Sector 5 of Site-19 was severely charred in the resultant blaze, as was researcher Ox. A second interview was undertaken a month later by researcher Davis, though only once SCP-5776 had assumed an amorphous, gel-like form. It was hoped that this would be marginally safer than if it was impersonating another anomaly. At the beginning of the interview, SCP-5776 outright asked the researcher why it was being held by the Foundation. Researcher Davis explained that the entity was dangerous, as well as particularly terrifying and not at all cute. SCP-5776 acknowledged it was aware of this. When asked by researcher Davis if it had any comment about the damage it had caused to Sector 5 during the prior interview, the anomaly only responded by stating it would do it again. Before the interviewing researcher could question SCP-5776 further, the entity violently released a burst of plasma-based fire, presumably to make good on its promise to repeat the previous month's incident. However, fortunately, automated blast doors within the creature's containment unit closed in time, preventing another fire. Following this incident, any interviews or other direct communication with SCP-5776 were forbidden under any circumstances, though this wouldn't stop it from continually attempting to escape. On an undisclosed date, sometime during the year 2012, SCP-5776 was able to escape the confines of its cell during the chaos of a mass-scale containment breach at Site-19. After breaching containment, SCP-5776 began to depart the Foundation facility and head west for unknown reasons, though it appeared to be heading for multiple large population centers, including a major city. Given the significant danger posed by SCP-5776 and the potential destruction it could unleash if it was able to reach a populated settlement, 2 high-ranking mobile task forces were sent to intercept SCP-5776. Mobile Task Force Epsilon 11, also known under the codename Nine-Tailed Fox, is usually tasked with handling internal security operations within the Foundation. This Special Operations Force is deployed to Foundation sites when standard containment protocols are inadequate to combat a breach, or if multiple containment breaches are imminent. They operate under the oversight of MTF Alpha-1, codenamed Red Right Hand, who were also deployed in order to secure the threat of SCP-5776. The Red Right Hand are named as such given that they report directly to the O5 Council and are only deployed in situations that require the strictest operational security. Their ranks are filled with the best and most loyal operatives within the Foundation, and the O5 Council deemed their deployment an absolute necessity in order to recapture SCP-5776. With both Red Right Hand and Nine-Tailed Fox in pursuit, SCP-5776 was discovered having assumed the form of another redacted SCP. Mobile Task Force operatives were able to establish visual contact with the escaped entity at roughly 1:30 a.m., little over half an hour after it had breached containment. At 2 a.m. that same morning, after requesting permission to engage from the O5 Council, Red Right Hand were given a green light to launch an all-out assault against SCP-5776. They were instructed to utilize explosives to slow the entity down once it was within firing range. complying with their order, both MTF Alpha 1 and MTF Epsilon 11 opened fire. They deployed a barrage of high-explosive artillery shells, remote-guided missiles, and shoulder-launched ordnance that quickly engulfed SCP-5776 in an eruption of explosive fire. Autonomous drones conducting flybys kept close watch on the anomalous shapeshifter, with thermal imaging feeds providing operatives on the ground with an overhead view of the creature. The explosive bombardment lasted for 3 hours. By 5 o'clock that morning, explosive reserves were running low, and Red Right-Hand operatives issued requests for a resupply, which arrived shortly after. 45 minutes later, with the Foundation still in pursuit, SCP-5776 was no closer to being subdued, and the surrounding area had sustained considerable damage. The entity turned around to face the mobile task forces pursuing it and assumed the form of a large dragon. MTF operatives continued firing upon the creature, but its scales appeared impervious to conventional firepower. Shooting at SCP-5776 in its dragon form did nothing to slow it down. The situation was looking increasingly dire. 2 of the Foundation's most well-equipped mobile task force units had so far been unable to subdue the creature. They needed backup. An emergency anomalous requisition request was issued to the O5 Council for urgent approval to deploy SCP-Redacted to the field. Aware of just how dangerous SCP-5776 was, the Foundation's leadership permitted the requested anomaly to be dispatched, but although personnel moved quickly to enact the order, they weren't fast enough. By 7 o'clock, SCP-5776 had destroyed the nearby town of Redacted, causing significant civilian casualties and leaving a path of destruction in its wake. It was only after the town had been obliterated that SCP-Redacted arrived on the scene. The pair of anomalies quickly engaged in a violent altercation, though SCP-5776 seemed to underestimate the power of its opponent. After 28 minutes of trading blows, the requisitioned anomaly was able to emerge victorious, slowing SCP-5776 down long enough for it to be restrained and returned to containment back at Site-19. There are few anomalies as horrifying or as dangerous as SCP-5776. In fact,
That's very cap. No, there's way more dangerous than that thing. That does not look scary, period.
Foundation researchers estimate it ranks highly among the most dangerous known anomalies in the world, let alone
it can't take form of those ones, scary ones, so it can't be scary. So
just those in Foundation custody. A malicious shape-changer capable of destroying anything and everything if it wishes, and it is definitely not cute. But what if everything the Foundation knew about SCP-5776 was wrong, and not just by mistake, but by design? Buried in the depths of the anomalies file on the SCP database, beneath layers of encryption and restricted behind a Level 1 5776 classification, is a secret file. Any unauthorized attempts to view it are met with immediate disciplinary action. Any personnel who are found to have read this document, or, God forbid, revealed its existence to SCP-5776, are to face the most severe punishment. SCP-5776 is not what the Foundation thinks it is. It isn't even what it thinks it is. As it turns out, SCP-5776 is not one of the most dangerous anomalies the Foundation has ever faced, not even close.
Are you?
The hazardous entity poses next to no threat to human life at all. It merely wishes to be perceived that way. Classified as safe, SCP-5776's true anomalous capability lies in how it is able to alter any recorded descriptions of itself, from rewriting the text of its SCP database entry, or even altering images, video, and audio recordings of itself. It typically alters these descriptions to depict itself as a frightening, highly dangerous anomalous entity capable of unleashing an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario. However, it can only alter information about it when it is made aware of the exact mediums it is presented in, which is why keeping its true file concealed from this anomaly is considered a disciplinary offense. Usually, researchers have found it easy to tell when a document has been altered by SCP-5776. Linguistic analysts have noted specific patterns that are present throughout the anomalously rewritten version of its SCP file. These are especially prevalent in the incorrect grammar and abrupt statements. While these mistakes are believed to be unintentional, they provide clear indicators that SCP-5776 has tampered with the text. Localized backups of any Foundation material that references SCP-5776 are to be maintained and regularly viewed by a human member of personnel for the presence of any of these indicators. Rather than being a mysterious, shape-changing entity of unknown origins, as it would have people believe, SCP-5776's exact appearance and its discovery are well documented within the accurate version of its file. The anomaly itself bears little distinction from an ordinary marshmallow, measuring approximately half an inch in diameter and around 1.5 inches tall. In its neutral state, SCP-5776 bears a smiley face, which analysis reveals was hand-drawn on with a standard black marker pen.
Alright.
If SCP-5776 learns that it had...
I'm gonna end it there, guys. But I will see you tonight in the secret stream. And I'll probably see you in another video today. I might upload 2, but tonight I'm gonna record a 3 a.m. video. And we're gonna do like a really fun thing. It's gonna be fun. So, alright. I will see y'all later. I'm gonna head out. And I'm gonna do some stuff. So I will see y'all later. Goodbye.